Hello and welcome to round 2 here of the F3 Championship. We're at Silverstone, Britain this weekend. Once again, I'm joined by our former F2 champion and current F1 driver, Dougie. Hello, Dougie.
Hello there. Welcome to Silverstone. It's going to be an interesting one. This is going to be quite competitive. I have no idea how everyone else is going to go. But yeah, it looks overcast for the race as well.
Yep, yeah, drives are out. And 19 drivers today. What a turnout.
Yeah, good turnout. Better than last week, which had only 16, so it's really more, obviously. Yeah, as we see, I suppose, there's a spinner on the track as well. Don't know who that is. From Renault of Luxmar, just spun out. But yeah, it looks good for see people trying to get up to F2.
Yeah, of course, all battling for that F2 promotion spot at either the mid-season point if anyone drops out of F2, or at the end of the season when, of course, the promotion and relegation battles start. Just a quick note, going into this race, we've got 2 new debutants. We have Mr. Stim, who is currently in the pit lane as well as our other debutant, Everything No Zero. So those 2 are joining us for the first time this week. Obviously, Skeven was on the list last week but didn't race, but he is here this weekend. So we are up to 19 runners, and hopefully we'll see some good action today.
Yeah, it should be some good action. I'd expect some drivers here to get pole. So, for example, like Skeven, maybe Mr. Stim might be up there.
Yeah, just to confirm, Mr. Stim is in the Ferrari and Everything No Zero in the Force India. So those are the cars they are running in. I wasn't aware, but now I am. So so strategy-wise, round Silverstone, it's a fairly easy one-stop. We've seen some different strategies in the past, but what would your strategy that you think would be most ideal here for the drivers to use today?
I think it depends on their tyre life. I think if people are comfortable, they would want to do a one-stop easy and go super soft medium just to be safe and get them to the end. If they feel that they could do that, if they're brave enough to probably get to soft tyres, probably around lap 8, 9, and then probably do the rest of the race on the soft tyre. It'd be a bit more competitive, but they have to risk on tyre life. So it's a bit of a sort of an open one for Silverstone.
Yeah, of course.
Overtaking is quite difficult here, so it'll be interesting to see how people fare in this race.
Yeah, of course, and especially as the first corner, of course, is actually flat, especially with these new cars. So there'll be possibly a couple of incidents there, but the first major braking / overtaking point, if you like, is turn 3 of I think it's Abbey. So we'll be looking to see some action there at the end of the first lap, and it's not going to be easy to overtake here at all. We've got a lot of high-speed corners. Main overtaking opportunities are probably turn 3, as I just mentioned. Turn 4 possibly if you're close enough from turn 3. The DRS stretches going down into turns 5 and 15, I think it is, which is the Stowe corner, the second one. But again, long, fast corners, so doesn't really present the best opportunities, unfortunately. But we'll see what the drivers have to offer if they've got something up their sleeve. Hopefully we'll see some good action.
Is on pole originally on a 28.0. Versus Jessica, 7 tenths down on his time. So it looks like a very comfortable pole position so far. Skeven. Unless anyone else can challenge from behind.
Quite a big margin. I'm looking to see what sort of laps Everything No Zero and Ollie can do. Sorry, Mr. Stim as well, actually, because I believe he is fairly quick. We've just got our previous pole sitter, Jakey, back in the pits now. He's over a second off of provisional pole right now. That's quite a margin.
It's quite a margin. Maybe he made a mistake somewhere on this lap, and then maybe he might go out again. Probably get that fresh super softs, go for another run. He has time to do so.
I've just realised, actually, him and Miles have both set exactly the same lap time. So Miles currently provisional 4th place. That's not bad, considering he's actually using the X and square buttons for his accelerator and brake, which is rather interesting. We don't really hear of that much now, but he is using that method, which is entirely up to him, of course, as he actually drops down into 5th now. Mr. Stim going through with a 129.0, so he's moved up into 4th place. Keegan doing quite well in 3rd place at the moment. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 that haven't set a lap. Lux, I believe, has retired, so he won't be setting a lap. I'm not sure how he's done that. You said you saw him off earlier on in the session, so maybe he's hit a wall or something there, possibly.
Possibly, I didn't see from this point of view, but looking at the time from what Miles has set, that's very good, very impressive, considering, as you said, he uses the X and square button for his accelerator and braking. That's fair play to him. It's still 1.1 seconds down on current pulsator.
Yeah, he's a lot more competitive than he has been in recent seasons, though, which is good to see. We've got Taffy down at the bottom. He's done a 130.4. He's just ahead of Bendel, who is his teammate, I believe, at 131.4. So second down there for Bendel to make up on his teammate. We're still waiting for Everything No Zero to set a lap. We'll see if we can find him now. Where is he? He's just coming through Maggots and Beckett's now.
Ollie is starting his lap as well. Last week's race winner. And Zonda is on the grass. But yeah, into the race.
So Mr. Stim's actually just improved. He's on a 128.3. So he's actually gone 2nd fastest with that time. Everything No Zero back into the pits, and that is not how you enter the pit lane at Silverstone by any means. So he's gone in at full throttle, and the game obviously slowing him down there. That is not very professional of him, unfortunately. We've got Ollie going round in the Williams now, coming round on what I believe is a hot lap. Just coming through the old start-finish straight now. Is he flat through Copse Corner?
Yep.
Just about. See through Maggots and Beckett's now. Can he have a clean line through here? Car looks fairly stable. A little bit wide in apex. He may have lost a couple of tenths or so there. And we'll see where he goes. I reckon it'll be a decent lap, a 128, a mid 128 is what I would expect from him. But he's actually coming in, so he's aborting his lap. So obviously that,
I think that's him. That's him done.
Yeah, actually, because there's only 2 minutes 40 on the clock. It probably takes about a minute to get in and out of the pits. Plus, you've got the lap, the out lap as well, which is about, well, depending how fast you push, about 130. So that is pretty much qualifying over for Ollie, unless he can somehow get out in time. We've got Zonda yet to set a lap as well. Everything No Zero still in the pits, so they've got to get out within the next 40-50 seconds or so. I believe that is Everything No Zero out on track now. We'll just wait for confirmation. Yep, there it is. He's coming out of the pit lane now in the Force India. So currently on provisional pole, Skeven with a 128.0. Possibly see something a bit faster than that. We've also got Keegan, Miles, Jakey, Tezza and Taffy all out on outlaps at the moment. We've got Cooley and Raikkonen, Mr. Stim as well. Zonda also in the pits. I believe they are leaving the pit lane fairly soon. Zonda's still in there.
That was a bit dangerous with Cooley when he did to Skeven.
Went
straight into his racing line and he wasn't on a hot lap.
Yeah, I was going to say, I hope that wasn't a hot lap, but he's not happy at all. Nothing
hot
silly from him though, which is what we saw last week from, I believe it was Ollie.
Cooley went straight into Skeven's racing line. Yep, he's retired.
So I wonder if there'll be evidence submitted against him for that. We'll find out obviously at the end of the evening after F1 and the stewards have made the decisions. Has he pulled over to finish up here? It looks like it. Yeah. Skeven has retired. Yep. So that is him done in qualifying. Mr. Stim has not come out for another lap, so he will start no higher than 2nd place. Francis Jessica currently on a lap.
Francis Jessica, maybe Keegan might snatch pole position here, but
yeah, but of course Miles and Jakey still have the exact same time, so anyone that improves and the other one doesn't, then they will jump them, of course. Everything No Zero. Let's have a little look where he is. He's coming through the last corner now, and he's onto his hot lap. Let's ride on board with him here. Through the first sector now, into the braking zone at turn 3, down to 3rd gear. Struggling for the apex. That's a nice little apex there though. Now can he get the power down without any wheel spin affecting the tyre wear, of course, as well. These tyres will be the ones they start on in the race, presuming he gets inside the top 10. First sector, 27.8. Is that competitive?
No. Compared to Stevens, 4 tenths down.
Wow, so he's struggling for pace at the moment, so he's going to be around, I'm going to guess, around 8th, 9th place by the time he's actually finished the lap. Is he flat through Cops? He is, but he's very wide, and he would have lost a bit of time there. We've got Taffy retired in 15th. We've got Miles still 5th place. Can anyone else beat him?
Keegan jumps to 2nd.
Oh yeah, Keegan's just got 2nd, so he's just done a 1:28.2, I believe that is, isn't it? 1:28.1, so he's just under the 1:28.2 mark. We've got a few more that we're waiting for. Everything No Zero coming into the last couple of corners now. Where's he going to finish on his qualifying debut?
Francis Jessica was on the lap, but then messed it up in
Oh.
the exit chapel.
It was looking promising as well. Everything No Zero goes P5 with a 1:28.3, beating Miles, who has crossed the line, a 1:29.1. He's now down to 8th place. We're just waiting for Fear to come over the line. He's coming down the hanger straight now.
Yeah. See what you can do if he's still on the lap.
Very, very late braking. Almost looked like it was braking assist the way he took that corner. He's taking very interesting line through the last couple of corners. He's going to struggle to hook a decent time up here. He is going to improve. It's a 1:29.5, I think it was. I believe that's P12. Yep, P12. So, not the worst lap in the world, but it was quite messy towards the end of the lap, that's for sure.
Yeah, you could have definitely found time there on that lap.
Very close in the end then between Keegan and Skeevan. Less than 2 tenths separating the three of them. So it'd be interesting to see how those guys fathom out where they're going to be during the race. But our official grid for the start of the Silverstone Grand Prix is Skeevan, Jakey Boy, Keegan, Mr. Stim, Everything No Zero, Raikkonen, 7th is Francis Jessica, 8th is Miles all the way up there, Cooley and Not So Happy Cow round out our top 10. We'll go through the grid again on the formation lap for you. Hopefully we won't have our skipping of the 2-minute preparation period. We'll just make sure that goes through. Obviously we've got a couple of debutants, so hopefully nobody skips. That would be nice to see. So obviously we've got 9 starting outside the top 10 today. Do you reckon anyone's going to start on the medium or the soft tyres?
Definitely. I think a couple of people will want to try and risk it and go like 20 laps on those mediums. I feel like some people might try softs as well for a trick and try and go super softs to the end, or mediums, depending on how bad their tyre wear is. But it opens strategy for the people who are from 11th down. So it'll be interesting to see what they do.
Yeah, of course, no safety car again. So obviously that won't play a factor. We've got the countdown now. Mr. Stim has readied up, unfortunately, but yeah, we'll see. I don't think he'll get a reprimand for that because obviously he is new and he probably hasn't been briefed. But of course, the drivers will receive a 10-second penalty if it happens in the future. So, we're just waiting for them to complete their formation lap now. We seem to have lost the driver. We're down to 18 runners. I'm not quite sure how that's happened.
Who did we miss?
That is interesting. So we're just looking through now. Was it perhaps Fear? No, Fear's still here.
No, it was...
That is interesting. So we've got Skeevan, Jakey, Keegan, Mr. Stim, Everything No Zero, Raikkonen, Francis Jessica, Miles 8th, Cooley 9th, Cal 10th. So it wasn't anyone there. Sure, George.
Looks like
Fear.
it's like Tessa Tesla's probably left.
Ah, yes. Yeah, I did see something pop up on the bottom of the screen, but now you say Tesla, yeah. That does jog my memory. So we have lost Tesla somehow. And he won't be taking part in this race, unfortunately. So, unfortunately for him, he won't be scoring any points. So as we watch Skeven coming through into the final couple of corners now, KLC is still coming through Maggots and Beckett. So I don't think he qualified, did he, KLC? I think he joined later on, maybe, or did he just crash out?
I think he didn't. I think he decided not to qualify and try and do a different strategy. He probably felt that he didn't have pace.
Some heavy weaving there from the Haas driver. But yeah, different strategy, of course, because they can go deep into the race on these tyres. 26 laps then. First stops on the super softs around between laps 7 and 9, really, and the soft tyres will probably take you to about 16 or so, depending on how well we look after your tyres. So we're just waiting for the final couple of cars to come into position. As you can see, they're coming round Club Corner, and then we'll get underway here for round 2 of F3 here in Silverstone. Just waiting for the final cars to roll into position now. Here we go then, round 2 of the F3 Championship. 5 red lights. And they're held for a little while, and off they go, and into turn 1 they come. It's going to be a flat right-hander. We've got one of the Force Indies there up the inside. That's Mr. Stim and Everything Those Zero going side by side. Very, very wide through the first couple of corners. We've got a Sauber off in the background. Oh, and who's that gone off?
The Haas going into the Ferrari.
Huge crash at turn 3. Couple of cars struggling towards the back end as well. Oh my goodness, and where's a Haas tangling with Taffy? Who was that? That was KLC, so he's had a massive crash with Taffy there. There was cars up in the air. Meanwhile, Jakey has got up in front of Skeven. So what? Oh my goodness, chaotic first lap.
More carnage as Mr. Simmons all the way dropping down the order.
Yeah, oh, Mr. Stim, yeah, of course, yeah. He's dropped right down.
That got hit from the Haas of Kudi.
Oh, we've got a McLaren off in the background. I believe that's Miles. Miles has lost. He's out the race. He's gone through Cop's corner and he's lost the back end. He's smashed into the barrier, and that is his race over. Wow, we've lost 2 already. Huge crash. Unbelievable. We've got a Renault moving all over the place trying to defend from Francis Jessica. That is Keegan in the Renault, who's giving Francis Jessica no space at all. He's in a podium scoring position at the moment, so he's not going to give it up easily. But Jakey Boy, big boost for him. He's into the lead already, and Skeven will be dying to get back past him surely as he sets the fastest lap. We've got Bendel losing a couple of positions there, slightly further down. Meanwhile, Fear has got up into P6 already. Wow, what a start. So he started 12th and he's up into 6th already. It's not too bad for him. Not so happy Cowan started P10 as well, up into 5th place. So we've got some really good starters there, as we see. Who else has done well? We've got Mr. Stim in the pits. We've got Taffy up into 13th. We've got Ollie up from 15th into 10th. And we've also got Francis Jessica up from 7th into 4th place now. So some fairly good starts there from some potential outsiders.
Ooh, as Kuli and Everything to Zero is having going down the inside, coming up to left field now.
Yep, got a little bit of a grassy exit there, the Force India car. He's lost a couple of positions off the start. We've got Bendel as well up into 8th place. He's done well. We've got Showjaw's Not So Happy Cows dropped back down into 12th position. He's on the grass again, and I'm not quite sure what's happened there. Showjaw has lost his front wing.
It's in the dizzying heights of 5th now from that.
Yeah, 5th for Disabled Fear. He's got a bit of a gap now to Cooley behind him. And would you say Francis Jessica, they're getting a bit sideways through Stowe. So it's really a top 4 shootout at the moment with these guys.
Yeah. Skeven's trying to get his act together. He found 410s, something like that.
So there you go, fastest lap at 1:32.1. He's about half a second off of the back of the Toro Rosso driver. forever closing at the moment. He won't have, sorry, he will have DRS this lap. It will be active as they come down the Wellington straight. Skeven forever closing. We'll go on board with Skeven now. It's not going to be close enough for a move just yet. He'll find his moment. Oh, he had a look there up the inside of the second part of Brooklands there. But nothing too major yet. We've got Francis Jessica, who's got past Keegan. Keegan has lost the position, so he's down to 4th place. Slightly further down, we've got Cooley and Ollie fighting for position. Ollie is right behind the Haas. And he's sideways almost through Cop's corner, having to downshift and lift quite heavily. And can he get past Cooley here? Because he's on the medium tyres, Ollie, and he's already up into 7th place. Cooley's on the grass though, and he's mucked up his exit coming out of Chapel, and it looks like the Red Bull Bendel's bearing down on the back of them as well.
Yeah, he's got a good run. See if he could do anything from the next DRS, because he's actually only 3/10 behind Cooley. So Ollie gets the position, and he's going to chase after Fear, 5th place.
Yeah, that I won't imagine will take very long. Ollie being one of the faster drivers out of this F3 bunch. As you can see there, Fear just in front, about a 5-second gap or so. We've got Taffy up into 11th place, he's 1 place outside the points. Lux is up into 9th place after starting 16th, so that's a good start from him. Everything though, Zero, Mr. Stim and Showjaw's not having good starts at all. Meanwhile, as we jump back to the front.
Yeah, Mr. Stim was unlucky in the start. He got collected by Cooley, who was literally sideways and coming into turn 2.
Was that the Haas car that was
yeah, that was the Haas car. Because so was the Haas car that was so sideways,
flying over the first corner, or the turn 3.
Body slammed into the Ferrari, and
it's not very often you see that. Skeven still chasing Jakey boy. He seemed to have a little bit of a wobble there. He's lost a bit of time.
It's probably in the turbulent air from Jakey. But
yeah, of course, that is a major factor around here. Francis Jessica doing a decent job at the moment. He's closing to the back of these guys. The gap is about 1.5 seconds. Just needs to keep it clean now. Ran a bit wide there coming out of a Vale corner. But slightly further down, we've got Not So Happy Cow challenging Lux. We'll just jump on board with that. I think Lux will be able to fend the Mercedes driver off here, but let's stay on board. A little bit of a twitch coming out of Club. I'm not so happy Cal might have a chance going into Abbey here. Oh, but he's gone wide and he's possibly got a bit of front wing damage. Doesn't look like any immediate damage from this point of view. And Lux has had a very poor exit out of turn 4, and having said that, Not So Happy Cow gets a little bit sideways on exit.
No, both had not very good exits, but
or maybe he was thinking about it going into Brooklands there. And for this next sort of middle sector, if you like, of the lap, there really isn't an overtaking opportunity up until the hangar straight, is there?
Not necessarily. I mean, if they're brave, they could try inside of cops, which is something. But yeah, probably hangar straight is their best shout. Get the DRS and then just go in through stuff.
He couldn't be any closer as they come through Maggots and Beckett's. Less than a car length separates them. Oh my goodness, it's a bit of a twitchy line from Lux and Not So Happy Cow alike. And the back end of the Mercedes is all over the place as they come down onto the hangar straight now. The Renault goes defensive. The Mercedes to the outside. Is he going to try and swoop around on the softer tyres? Is he going to make it stick? Oh, he has! What a move from the Mercedes of Not So Happy Cow! I'm not sure if... wow.
That was sketchy. No, it was very, very sketchy.
I think... yeah, I think Lux got a bit sideways there, but nonetheless, what a move from the Mercedes.
Yeah, it was a good move. It was a move, but lost a lot of time for Lux, unfortunately, but it was a good move, to be fair.
Yep.
2, not a happy cow.
Ollie, meanwhile, has got the gap down to 1.5 now, to fifth. And Keegan's dropping off for Francis Jessica.
That being said, not happy cow made an error. And hit the back, hit the back of Taffy, and
he's actually letting him through there. Wow, so
yeah,
he's just had all that work undone, unfortunately for him. So as you can see there, the front two, look how close Skeeven is through Maggots and Beckett's, but the understeer is killing him as he's sideways coming through Chapel, and he's lost so much time, and Francis Jessica's going to be pouncing on him at the moment. Meanwhile,
yeah,
Fear is still hanging on to 5th place. Just going to be a three-way battle for the lead here. Could be quite interesting come pit stops, which will be anywhere from now, really, depending on tyre wear and strategy, of course. So we'll see what the drivers go for.
It is looking like a three-way battle for the lead. Mr. Francis is now only a second to cover the top 3. Oh, 1.7 seconds to cover the top 3, should I say? And it's getting ever closer.
Yep, it's all bunching up at the front, with Keegan dropping off dramatically now. He's 3.4 down on Francis Jessica, who is defending from just a couple of laps ago. Meanwhile, Mr. Stim is still 13th. Everything Those Zero down in 12th place. Taffy has moved up into the points, of course, getting past Not So Happy Cow, who is directly behind him, having said that. So we'll have a little look there. Yep, he comes over. Oh, and he's sideways again. That back end of the Mercedes is very unstable. And again, he's just unable to keep it under control.
He is really not liking turn 3 and 4. Going to the loop, just oversteering everywhere.
A bit of a lift there through the kink at 5 as well.
Yeah, he maybe has his balanced all the way up to 11 or something, because he's just oversteering. It's bad, really.
Oh, Taffy with a bit of jump lag there. I'm not sure if you saw, but he was flying off into the gravel trap at one point. Francis Jessica's just dropped off as well a bit. I'm not sure if Skeeven's got his act together a little bit, or Francis Jessica just dropped off, but the top 3, sorry, covered by 1 point.
Francis Jessica pits.
Oh, okay, so that is possibly for an undercut chance, because obviously those two in front are fighting, but at the same time his tyres might just be at that stage where they can't go on any longer. Keegan, meanwhile, takes a position. Fear is just holding on from Ollie. The gap is under a second now. As we'll actually see where
Ollie may come into play again, like he did in Singapore, and just try and pounce. And
yeah, of course.
Probably get super softs 2 at the end.
Francis Jessica currently exiting the pit lane. He's going to come out in P10, I want to say, behind Taffy. He might actually get out in front of Taffy here. He's going to be neck and neck with Lux, and he's actually just beaten Lux out the pits.
That was very crucial. So his race.
Yeah, oh, he's got up the inside though, Lux, and is he going to force an error for the Williams driver? He's lost the back end a little bit, and it looks like Francis Jessica is going to get away here. But as you say, crucial that he got out in front of the Renault driver there, because obviously Lux on the soft tyres is going a little bit deeper into this race.
Let's see what the other two do. Do they pit now or go for softs, or do
yeah, of course, because Francis Jessica was right behind them. Skeeven still within half a second or so. The gap keeps yo-yoing between these two. Is he peeling off? Yep, he's pit there, and Skeeven follows it in. So this is interesting now. Keegan is going to pit as well. So the top 3 are in, which means Ollie will take the lead of the race on the medium tyres. Fear will be into second place, and I don't think Cooley will quite get past. Where are these guys now? So we've got Skeeven, medium tyres for the Ferrari. I believe that was medium tyres. And the Toro Rosso just gets out in front. So Ollie into first place. Fear up into P2 now. Bendel up into P3. And they're going to get jumped as well by Francis Jessica, maybe. I think he might have just got out in front as Jakey. Yep, but the gap is a lot closer than it was.
Status quo for the time being between Jakey, Skeeven and Francis, but it may not end that way. It is looking very close, depending on what all these guys do. And they will have the pace.
Yep, and of course they have to get past Bendel because he's only 5 seconds up the road, and he's not going to be stopping for a while yet because he's on those soft tyres. So you see Skeven just having a look again up the inside of Jakey. These guys all on medium tyres, by the way. Anything you see on the actual physical cars is not correct. So as we can see here, Skeven and just Skeven actually showing that he's on the super soft tyres, so he's not actually on the super softs. He goes wide through Cop's corner.
Really wide, trying to push his car to the limit, trying to get that good run for the hangar straight.
Hey, what though, Francis Jessica here, very close to the back of the Ferrari, and he's made a mistake coming out of Chapel Corner, and he's in the DRS and the slipstream now as they come down into Stowe. Is he going to have a look up the inside? He's going for it. Does Skeven have the grip around the outside? Fresher tyres, and he's kept the position for now. He's going to have another look up the inside of Vale. Skeven not giving him much room, but he's hard and fair. Francis Jessica getting a little bit on the grass. And these two will be fighting all the way to the end now.
Yep, and this battle is actually helping Jakey to pull away now.
I was about to say, yeah, he's pulling a little bit of a gap on these two, which will be beneficial to him. But he's by no means out of reach. These two could quite easily catch him. Bendel is just 3.5 seconds ahead of these guys now. And Skeven picks up a time penalty, so that could be pivotal in the final results. Meanwhile, further down the order, Taffy is still 9th place. Keegan in 8th place, that's where he's come out. Obviously Taffy yet to stop, but everyone else, bar the top 3, Lux and Taffy, have stopped, so they can go to the end, other than Hotzonda, who I believe is on the Super Softs along with KLC. Miles is disconnected. Sorry, he's left the session because obviously he crashed out on the first lap, unfortunately.
See what Ollie can do on these mediums. Still leading 3 seconds ahead of Fear now.
Again, the top 3 covered by not even a second, and it's Francis Jessica who has the advantage as they come down the hangar straight here. I don't think he's got the straight line speed he needs. Skeven pulling in on Jakey a little bit, and he's very, very sideways through Stowe. Very, very wide apex.
Yeah, touched the outside curb, just lost all the back end and slid up everywhere. Wasn't nice, but somehow got back and maintained position, so didn't lose too much time.
So you can see there Skeven with the fastest lap of the race, so he is quicker out of the 3 at the moment. He's not got as much pressure as he did have last lap from Francis Jessica, who's made a little bit of a mistake there through turns 1 and 2, and Skeven is now right onto the back of Jakey Boy. And here is Bendel. This is where it's going to get interesting, because the Red Bull has not pitted and he's on old soft tyres.
It's up to Bendel now if he wants to get out of the way or race these guys. I mean, he doesn't need to. It's not the race he's actually battling for, but let's see what he does.
Yeah,
and Jakey doesn't really need this traffic right now, considering Skeven's.
Oh, they touch wheels, him and Skeven. Is he going to get him here? Has Skeven got the move done? Oh, they're side by side.
They're going to try and go inside the cops.
Surely not. Is he going to pull out? No, he's staying there. And Jakey swoops around the outside. I think Skeven may have lifted. And Francis Jessica around the outside. Is he going to have a look into Maggots and Beckett's? Oh my goodness, it's close.
That is really close. That could have ended so badly.
That could have ended in tears for quite a few of them there, but they've got away with it for now. Bendel still has them behind him. As they come down into Stowe Corner, it's a 4-way train for 3rd place at the moment. And look how close he is. Jakey now, is he going to have a look up the inside of Vale? Oh, and Bendel's out the way, so Bendel's going to let them through. He's got back up the inside though, Skeven, and he's got caught by the Williams of Francis Jessica, who's, I think, lost a bit of front wing there.
That was Bendel, but I think Bendel tried to get out of the way, didn't realise Francis Jessica was there, and then now he has to race
No, I think Francis Jessica does have front wing damage because he was going down into 6th gear. He's gone up the inside of Bendel. They touch wheels.
Wow. Jakey is getting a bit defensive.
So we'll see what happens with Francis Jessica, whether he pits or not. Just trying to see if there's any front wing damage. There was definitely carbon fibre that flew off one of the cars. Doesn't look anything major. We've got a Force India as well, trying to get past Bendel. That is a lapped car, I believe, actually. That might be not... sorry, everything no zero, actually. But we'll keep an eye on these top 3 yet again. Obviously, Francis Jessica, I think, is out of the running a bit now. He's dropping back. We'll see if he can recover. Hopefully he hasn't got front wing damage because of the great battle we had between these three. Skeven goes wide again, coming through Cop's corner. Meanwhile, in the lead of the race, Ollie, this will be benefiting him because, of course, he needs a bigger gap as possible when he pits onto those fresh tyres. That's an advantage as well that he's going to have. He's going to be on fresh rubber, and he's going to be the more aggressive of the drivers. Fear, of course, still second place. He's 7 seconds in front of these guys, so they're going to come out. Ollie and Fear probably around 7th, 8th place, maybe a bit higher. As Fear, yeah, Fear actually got to stop go there. So that's unfortunate for him. Francis Jessica hasn't stopped, so it looks like the damage may be either very minor or he doesn't have damage. Like you said, it looked like Bendel, and he's actually come in onto the medium tyres now. No wing change though, so that is interesting. So very much. Oh, sorry, that was Fear. Sorry, that had come in. So Bendel now comes into the pits. No wing change. Not sure if there's any front wing damage on the right side. Looks all clean. As Lux comes in. Has Lux stopped already? No, he hasn't. So he is the third to last one to stop. We've got Taffy and
Jakey. And Skeven. Skeven goes on the inside. It looks like he's got it this time. And brings him up to drive for a bit. Going side by side again through Cops.
Looks like Jakey might have the disadvantage here. Oh, but having said that, yeah, I thought he was going to maybe get him on the cutback, but he did lift out there. So sensible from Jakey. He's got to try and chase Skeven down now. Will Skeven have the pace to pull away? That is the question.
If they have the tyres as well, and they need to catch Ollie.
Yep,
well,
Ollie with an 11-second lead. And he can go for another few laps yet. So it looks like Jakey might be falling back here. He's got to keep pushing. Who else is in a battle at the moment? No one really. Lux and Not So Happy Cow are the closest bar these two. Haven't really got much going on at this stage.
Jessica pits. I feel that he probably did get wing damage then.
Ah, so yeah, so it looks to me like the right wing, the most inner part of the wing looks like it might have gone.
Yeah,
so
it does look like that.
Unfortunately for him, his race for a podium might be over. He's going on to the soft tyres, and there you go. There's the wing change. So confirmation that that was wing damage from the Williams that we saw when Bendel and himself touched. Meanwhile, Taffy's up into P5. Where did Fear come out actually? Because Fear's just pitted 6th place. So Disabled Fear's in 6th place. Wow. Having started P12, I think he takes 6th right now.
Fear's on medium time right now. I know he's showing he's on soft, but he's going to the end on soft. Medium, should I say?
Yep.
Should be interesting to see what he can be able to do.
Of course, Taffy in front of him in P5 has to stop yet as well, so who's quicker behind him? Francis Jessica, but he's a long way behind, so Fear could be on for a top 5 finish here today, which would be something we've never seen before from him. Cooley is just over 5 seconds behind him, taking an interesting line here. But yeah, so it's all Fear's to lose at the moment in regards to his points in the championship. A little lift there through Cop's corner. Jakey Boy still within a second of Skeven, but dropping slightly. Oh, Fear very sideways through Maggots and Beckett's. He's got to be careful. He's got Taffy 2.5 seconds in front of him in the Red Bull on very warm mediums. And not much
that gap's closing now.
Going on.
Taffy and Fear. Meanwhile, Skeven's sort of starting to pull away now from Jakey, so it looks like he did have a better pace.
Yep, he has got the gap up to just over 8/10 now. As you can see, they go over the delta lines. It's got it back down to 7/10, so it's just yo-yoing at the moment. Of course, he's in the DRS actually, so that will be explaining that.
Yep, the gap's now 10 seconds. Less than 10 seconds now between Skeven and Ollie. So it's either Ollie needs to pick up the pace, or he tries to pit a lap or two to go on.
Of course, he's been on those mediums
from
the start. So, do you reckon he'll go onto the super softs or the soft tyres?
Well, considering Skeven's pace right now, I would switch and go softs and try and push further. But if he feels that he can get another lap into them and get super softs and then go faster.
Oh, Jakey has lost it through Maggots and Beckett's coming into Chapel, and that is his Chance for a win. Gone, I'm afraid. I don't think he'll catch Skeeven now. A big mistake coming through Maggots and Beckett's. It was just as he was coming into Chapel, he got way too much grass. And he's got someone behind him. Who was that? Might have been a lapped car of Everything No Zero, actually.
Yeah, Keegan's like 10 seconds back, so...
That is a shame. It looked to be a three-way battle and it's ended up all going to pop, unfortunately. And now he's got a 7.5 second deficit to his main rival.
Yeah, it looks like Skeeven's to lose now almost. Unless Ollie does something spectacular in his last stint.
Yep. Taffy pits meanwhile, which means Fear is up into 5th place. Oh, and he's taken a lot of curb coming through Club Corner. So where is Taffy going to come out? I'm going to predict around. Let's have a look where people are. He's going to come quite far down the order as far as Jessica sets the fastest lap. I think he'll come out around 11th or 12th place, Taffy. So he's getting a front wing change as well. He's on the soft tyres, and he is go. So he might just get out in front of Lux, but I think it's going to be more like P11 for him. Skeeven gets another time penalty, so he's actually got to keep that gap to Jakey, because if he's got 6 seconds already, and I haven't seen a prompt for Jakey getting a time penalty yet.
Jakey has 1 penalty.
Okay.
So just to let you know, just it looks safe, to be honest. If he does get anything,
as long as he's consistently keeping pace. Yep. Meanwhile, Ollie yet to stop. He's the only car not to stop. His teammate, meanwhile, we're on board with right now, is in P7. He's had a front wing change, unfortunately. He was in a podium fight. Got a bit messy. And he's really pushing the car at the moment. He's very sideways through Chapel. As he chases down Cooley in the Haas car in front of him. This is probably the closest we've got to a battle right now, and the gap is 1.4 seconds. Everyone else very evenly spread throughout the circuit. We've got Zonda back in the pits, so I believe that's his 3rd pit stop already.
Yeah, he's not had a great race.
No,
this one, wasn't he?
Fortunately, it's not been the best for him today. Fear still holding P5. As we see gap closed between these two drivers that we're following now. Francis, Jessica in the Williams, Cooley in the Haas car.
Francis Jessica could get P4 at the end of this race, considering his pace right now.
Yeah, he's got fresh, soft tyres, and of course, 2 drivers in front of him. In fact, all of the drivers in front of him are on medium tyres, but of course he's got a lot to make up in terms of time, and he's got to get past as well. It's not just about putting the laps in.
Ollie pits.
Ollie pits from the lead of the race. Where is he going to come out? That will be crucial. Francis Jessica getting a little bit wide coming into Cops. He's tucked right in behind the rear wing of the Haas car, and he's, oh my goodness, he's trying to go through Maggots and Beckett's from the outside. He's done it. Wow, I was not expecting a move through there, but I think Cooley got a little bit out of shape and it helped him massively. But Francis Jessica round the outside, you do not see that very often at all.
You do not, and that was incredible, to be fair. That's something you don't see every day, and made him stick, fair play. Extra grip from those soft tyres.
Yep, extreme confidence from him. Ollie does indeed go onto the super softs, and he's out. He's out in P4, just behind Keegan, and he's got a 13-second deficit to Jakey. So he's got to find about 2 seconds a lap at this point, or just under 2 seconds a lap to catch up to the back of Jakey. So we'll see how that unfolds towards the end of the race. Meanwhile, Francis Jessica has began the hunt for 5th place and disabled Fear. Look how close Ollie is to the back of Keegan already. He's on the softest compound, whereas Keegan's on the hardest. So this is advantage Ollie right now. Keegan a little bit wide through Cops.
It should be a slam dunk move, to be fair. Those fresh supers.
Sounds like he's saving fuel as well through Maggots and Beckett's. It sounded like the engine was sort of revving out quite low. So we'll see what he has down the straight now.
He's on rich right now.
Yep.
Got +1 on lap of fuel. So.
Plenty of fuel left in the tank for the Williams driver, and here we go. We might see a move into Vale. Keegan goes defensive. He comes back onto the racing line, only to notice that the Williams is there. Is it going to be a little bit of a cutback maneuver? Keegan's all over the place trying to keep the position, and they are so close coming over the start-finish line. Keegan keeps the position for now, but I feel like it's not going to be for very long. As Ollie sights up a move down into turn 3, maybe. Nope, Keegan holding the inside as well. He probably compromised his line a little bit. Oh, and he comes right back across the Williams. And Keegan is making it more difficult than it seems for Ollie here. He's losing time. Keegan goes defensive very early as they come into Brooklands. He's got to compromise his line. If he doesn't come back across, which he does now, he's allowed to do that. He's got just big enough gap. Now, will Ollie get him out of the long right-hander here? He's got the cutback, he's got the grip, he's got the fuel, and it looks like he's going to get him on exit. Yeah. Keegan pushing him onto the grass. Oh my goodness!
That was nasty from Keegan. Shouldn't have done that.
That is a bit dirty there from Keegan. I'm pretty sure that Ollie will be sending footage to the stewards. He's very, very eager to get past now, as you see there, just adjusting the dials on the dash, putting it into lean again through Maggots and Beckett. He knows he can keep with Keegan through here. Back up into Rich, as you can see there, adjusting the dials again. Keegan holds the final podium position for now, but for how much longer? He's got to hold on for another 6 laps. And it goes to the inside. Oh, he's touched the back of Keegan! They're both sideways! They've both kept it somehow! Wow! Oh my goodness. These two going for it as if it's a matter of life and death at the moment. Yeah, Keegan is not surrendering that podium position.
Literally defending his life for that 3rd place. Really wants to get it.
Francis
it's hurting Ollie
meanwhile.
because I think he could forget about JK because it's way too far back. This is the best he's going to get. So.
Yep. He's lost way too much time. As Francis Jessica sets the fastest lap of the race. That's how much time Ollie is losing at the moment. He is slower on a faster tyre compound than Francis Jessica behind him, who is quite a way behind him. So I don't think it's going to be as Francis Jessica goes deep into turn 3 there. So the battle for the final podium position. I'm not sure what time penalties is like between these two, but I'm sure we'll find out at the end of the race. Another cutback move maybe on for Ollie here. Keegan trying to hold the inside as much as he can. They touch wheels again as they come out onto the old start-finish straight. And they are so close yet again. He's not going to have a look through cops, surely. In a flat-out corner. But Taffy's actually right behind Lux here. He's at 2/10 down at the moment. So we could see a move on there for the final points place.
He's got a fantastic drive coming out of the exit of Chapel.
Yeah. Fear as well has got a one.
What's he doing? That was a bit.
He's trying to squeeze him. He's squeezing him onto the grass, but I believe Ollie is through. I don't think Keegan. Yeah. Oh my goodness, Keegan's got back at him. How has he managed that? And they both keep it somehow. And he's got diving up the inside. Keegan being very, very aggressive at this stage. Meanwhile, Francis Jessica has got to within a second now of Fear. It's all heating up in the final few laps here at Silverstone.
Yeah.
Fear holding on to 5th place.
Very tense end development as Keegan's holding on for this 3rd place.
Oh, and he has a little nudge back at Ollie as well, and he might come on the inside. Keegan squeezing him again. Does not want to surrender that 3rd place. He obviously doesn't believe in his tyres either to try and get past. And there goes Francis Jessica into 5th place. Fear down to 6th place now. So, unfortunately for him, I think that we all said no. Oh my goodness, these two again touching. Ollie, is he going to get the cutback? I think he's too far alongside for that. Keegan's going to push him out onto the grass again, and they bang wheels as they come over the start-finish straight. Or the old start-finish straight. Surely not through cops. He's not going to risk it, is he? Oh, I thought there was going to be contact, but not quite.
No quarter given between these two at all. And this battle is actually now enabling Francis Jessica to now catch up to 6 seconds. It was 8 seconds in the last sector, so...
Yeah, makes a little mistake as well. They've just got a little over 4 laps remaining. So this is going to be interesting to see what actually happens here, because obviously if Fear can keep to the back of Francis Jessica, we could have a 4-way battle for a podium here, which would be brilliant. Taffy got past Lux, by the way. We didn't actually see that. I do apologise, but the battle between these two was so intense, and Taffy moves into the final point scoring position.
Let's see what Ollie does this time. He tried the outside, didn't work. He got squeezed out. So he's got
thinking
another
over it, I'm sure. He's got the run now. Now, down the Wellington straight, he's getting squeezed to the inside. Keegan is not giving him any room. They're banging wheels again. Is he surely? Oh my goodness! They touch. Keegan's got a big slide going on. And he's lost the back end.
He's lost.
That is race over. Yep, he's retired. So he has called it there, I think. Or has he? No, he's not retired just yet. It looked like the AI had taken over for a moment. So
he's dropped to 7th now.
All that, yep, and that's promoted Fear back into P5.
Top 5 of Fear.
I feel like Keegan had that coming a little bit with the aggressive moves he was making on Ollie, and he's going to struggle throughout the rest of the lap unless the dirt is off his tyres already.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I mean, it's good to be defensive, but there's also being over defensive and over aggressive.
Yeah,
I mean, you have to know when your battles are lost at the same time. And yeah, but fair play, it was a good battle. It was enjoyable to watch.
I think Mr. Stims just had a bit of an incident because everything no zeros just got past him. Didn't see that, unfortunately. But the only other battle we've got really now is Keegan catching Cooley. So this should be interesting for the last few laps as we see Keegan catch up to the back of him. He's the quicker of the two, that's for sure. Everything no zero is actually catching KLC in front of him as well.
Yeah, meanwhile at the front, Steven's just checked out 12 seconds ahead.
Yep, he's extended that gap. And as you can see now, I'm not sure what the gap was before from Ollie to Jakey, but it's now 18 seconds. And it was definitely not that before, so we'd lost so much time fighting with Keegan. The gap was something around like 9 seconds or something, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I believe
it was about 10 seconds.
So
about 10 seconds thereabouts. And then yeah, it's just that battle, which was quite intense and got overly intense.
Yeah.
Kind of ruined his chances for a second, but third place from where he started, it was like 18 to 15.
Yeah, that's not bad, is it? From right down at the back of the grid. Yeah, up 12 from 15th place on the grid. Not too bad at all. Fear in 5th place as well, having started 12th. Not too bad there either. Keegan, meanwhile, was gone backwards, having started P3 and is now down in P7, chasing a 6th place recovery result, if you like.
Yeah, I'd say unlucky runners will probably missed him from that one. They've really recovered, and everything to zero.
Yep.
Not really looked had pace.
Shojaw's also 2 laps down. He's struggling this season. I think he retired at the beginning of the last race. And of course, Baku next week. What a track to have after all this carnage in the first 2 races. We've got Baku next week, so more action there hopefully. With the longest straight on the calendar, should promote some good overtaking opportunities. That is next week at 6 PM. Meanwhile, back to our current race. France Jessica does hold the fastest lap. We've got KLC and everything those zero fighting, I believe.
Yep, and Keegan and Cooley are in the
KLC's
range.
actually on the grass. So he's lost out big time there. Battle is hotting up between Keegan and Cooley. We ride on board with Zonda watching over this. Zonda would, if I were him, I would take a little step back because this could get very heated. As we watch on board from the Force India.
We've already seen how aggressive he's defending. Let's see how aggressive he is at attacking.
This is Zonda, who's a lap down, by the way, on these two in front of him. So hopefully he doesn't get in these guys' way because I wouldn't have thought he'd last very long.
Yep, Keegan got a good run. Cooley made a mistake coming in the exit of Chapel.
They've got Hot Zonda in the background darting around. He's surely not going to go for an overtake. Oh, and a little bit of and he's actually got round, around the outside. Wow, that was a lot easier than it looked to be. Zonda's surely not going to go for an overtake on a lapped car. Let them get it settled first. So Keegan does indeed move up into P6 then, with just 2 laps to go. Does Fear have it? I would think Fear would have the 10-second gap covered, you'd hope. Anyone else really in a battle right now? We've got Mr. Stim and Everything Knows Zero yet again. We've got Cooley and Keegan, obviously the two we're watching now. Bendel as well, Not So Happy Cal. They're in a bit of a dice for 8th place. And obviously Raikkonen and Miles, our DNFs.
Who would you call driver of the day after all of that?
I think it's got to be Ollie, purely because of having not crashed in all of that, and obviously coming up from P15. But Fear, very very close contender for driver of the day for that, I would say personally. As we see Keegan going a bit wide there.
He also can't say to the race leader either. I mean, he hasn't put your foot wrong. Even being behind Jakey, he looked calm and cool and collective, and when he passed him, he was fine. So
Mr. Stim and Everything Knows Zero are 2 debutants in F3, and they're having a bit of a battle here. As we've got the Force India. Okay, so this is how it's. This is why they're together then. Ah, right.
that was pretty bad for Everything Knows Zero.
Yeah, let's see if this escalates at all, because if so, it may mean that they are given hefty penalties, unfortunately. That is Jakey, I believe, that's just lapped them. Let's just see if Everything Knows Zero actually waits up for him, because that would be an indicator. Doesn't look like it at the moment.
No, it doesn't.
Which would explain why those two have been in and around each other the entire race.
Yep, Skeever's going around the last 2 corners.
Yep, so Skeeven, we just quickly skip to him as he comes through Vale and through Club. It has been not an easy win by any means, even with the 14-second gap, but he takes round 2 by ease in the end after Jakey made a mistake midway through the second stint, and Jakey will just about take home 2nd place as he lets through a lapped car. Oh, and it's Mr. Stim and Everything Knows Zero, and they've taken each other out again. That is very, very, very poor from those two, as Mr. Stim in the wall. That is not good to see at all. Ollie Flavel, having started down in 15th place, has picked his way through the carnage throughout and got himself a podium. Congratulations to Ollie. Good performance from him, solid performance. Francis Jessica, a fairly close 4th place in the end, after his what seemed to be knocking him out of good points, has turned out to be a decent points finish in the end. Disabled Fear gets a 5th place finish. That's his best ever finish in F3, and I may be corrected on that, but I'm pretty sure that is his best ever finish. Keegan, meanwhile, didn't really go well for him. Cooley's actually jumped him on penalties, so Keegan will finish 7th. Cooley will finish 6th. That's a good result for Cooley, having started down in 9th place. And Taffy, I think, might just get a point here. Bendel's jumped, Not So Happy Cal for 8th. Is Taffy going to get the final point? Lux is quite a way behind, so I think Taffy might get a point here for himself in the chance for a promotion. As we can see, there's the 2 red cars. Lux is our last driver, as he has a bit of a moment coming through Club Corner, and that has been round 2 here at Silverstone. My, was that entertaining for one, that's for sure.
Yeah, an entertaining race. A lot of incidences, lots of carnage, and eventually Skeeven won. It was interesting. A lot of interesting stuff happened there.
Well, I mean, consider we said at the start during qualifying there isn't many, there isn't too many overtaking opportunities, but I'll tell you what, I think we were proved wrong there today. Overtakes left, right and centre. But congratulations, of course, to Skeeven, our winner for today, and of course the other podium sitters of Jakey and Ollie. Tremendous jobs from all of those 3. So as we look at the final results here, it is Skeeven who takes home the win and the full 25 points. Jakey a close second, I say close second in the end. 13 seconds was the gap, and unfortunately he couldn't close it after making a mistake midway through the second stint. Ollie, without a time penalty, I believe was the only driver to actually not get a time penalty in the end, but he gets 3rd place, some 26 seconds behind Skeeven though for the lead. Further down the order we have Taffy getting the final point in the Red Bull, and Bendel picking up 4 points in the other Red Bull, so that's good for those two. Meanwhile, a lot further down, we had Raikkonen, who we've not really seen much of this season. Unfortunately, he's had a DNF and he had a little bit of a wobble, I believe, last week at Singapore. The other McLaren, Miles, of course, having started very well, decent qualifying, crashed out on the first lap coming through Copse Corner, the old first corner. And other than that, everything pretty much all said and done. Mr. Stim and Everything No Zero, I fear, won't be joining us again next week after what happened. We'll find out, of course, later on. Look out for the announcements chat if you are one of the drivers to see what happens there. But other than that, that is all from us this week. Thank you, Dougie, once again for joining us. I hope you enjoyed it. And of course, join us next week for Baku, where I'm 100% sure, I'm not guaranteeing though, but I am 100% sure that there will be at least a couple of incidents during that race. So thank you for watching. Join us next week. Bye bye.